Welcome to Citizens Reunited to Overcome Cancer, a show to make your survivorship an easier journey by providing information and advocating for you. A show to help practitioners up their game and their level of performance. This is the Croc Podcast. Here is your host, Dr. E, and alongside him to share some hope and inspiration from the Have Faith, Let It Begin podcast, co-host Angel Santana.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Tommy Anelli, and I am absolutely thrilled and humbled that you decided to join us on our podcast today. Today's episode is entitled Kindness to Patients, Small Acts, Big Impact. And speaking of kindness, my kind co-host, Angel Santana. Angel, it's been forever. It seems like forever. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Welcome back. Let's start the new year off right.
Absolutely. Welcome to the Croc Nation. Citizens Reunited to Overcome Cancer is back on the air. Happy New Year, my good friend. It feels like it's been a long time, but I know that you and I have been just dying to get these microphones working. We have dusted off and we're ready to rock and roll. Let's start 2026 with an amazing new episode.
Agreed. And I want to say that when I was thinking about today's podcast, of course, inspired by a true story that happened this week, but I think on a more, deeper level, I've noticed that kindness has been popping up and becoming a recurring theme in our podcast. I know that in the last month or two, we've had Angels of Mercy, which went over some of the acts of kindness from our nursing professionals, and then Confessions of a Healer. We're taking the time to get to know your patients. That was one of my favorite podcasts. And I wondered what that was all about. Like, why is kindness keeping popping up in my head, and kindness to our survivors, etc. And I think that it's been really heavy on my heart, Angel. I don't know if you felt this the same as I have felt it, but I feel that I've been shaken up by the way and the state of the world. I feel that there's a darkening, and I don't mean that in a political way, and this is not a political podcast, and we're a completely non-denominational and non-judgmental format. So it really is irrelevant to us which side of the fence you happen to be on. But I think you all probably feel this experience of this coldness or this anger or this rage that's going on, this detachment. And in some small way, I think using kindness in our podcasts is my way of rebelling, against this manifestation. And I'm trying to let it bleed over, into my work, and let it bleed over into my relationships and all that kind of thing. So have you felt kind of the same thing, Angel?
I think so. I think kindness goes a long way, and I do believe that we've been feeling that. I'm cautious myself on what to say, but, I'll be honest with you, I feel it too.
Yeah. And, I was going to start with the story, and the stories are always profound to me, and I hope they are to you as well. So this past Tuesday, I was called to the emergency room to see a patient who was not doing well. We're going to call him Charles. And Charles was diagnosed with metastatic prostate cancer, and it was basically involving his entire body. It was involving his bones, his lymph nodes, and his organs. And let me start by saying that I love my work and I love going to work every day, but the two places in the hospital that I absolutely can't stand are the emergency room and the ICU. I think all the monitors and the craziness and the busyness and the brightness, the bright lights, just kind of freak me out. And I will pretty much do anything I can to get out of that, having to go to those places. But on that particular day, on Tuesday, Louise and Jess had left for the day. So our nurse practitioners had gone, and I was the last man standing. So it was me who had to go in to see Charles. And what I found was the man who was very sick. And that's kind of what I expected. What I didn't expect to find was the amount of distress that he was in. But it wasn't distress from his disease. Yeah, it was more of a distress from the fact that he was in the emergency room for over 24 hours, which is a common theme, I'm afraid, in healthcare these days, waiting to get his room. And in those 24 hours that he was in the emergency room, his phone had just died. And my first thought, Angel, was that, wow, your phone just died. That's the least of your worries, buddy. And I tried to comfort him and I tried to redirect him away from his phone, but I was unsuccessful. So that holy light bulb, Angel, came off in my head, in my dull mind, and I quickly took his phone, told him I would be right back. I walked quickly to my office and I supercharged his phone. And I dutifully brought it back. As soon as it reached 100%, I brought it right back to him. And Angel, his face lit up like he was a 5-year-old child catching Santa going up the chimney on Christmas morning. He was so grateful. He teared up. He hugged me. It was like in that moment, just in that second, that I realized how even a small act of kindness directed at a patient can have a lifelong impact. So I started doing some digging. And my first stop, as usual, was to go to the literature and try to find a peer review article, research article. And I was able to find a European article entitled, "What's the Role of Kindness in the Healthcare Context?" And what I found was that kindness in medicine is receiving increasing attention. The culture of kindness and the impact on outcomes and work environments is profound. And there's a need for additional research where the concept of kindness holds the potential to revolutionize the quality of care and the well being of our providers. And I'll read just a quick conclusion from the conclusion of the paper. Kindness is an essential element that can lead to better patient outcomes, improved healthcare experiences, and the establishment of trust and rapport between patients and healthcare providers, increased employee satisfaction, better teamwork, lower turnover rates, and enhanced productivity. So basically, Angel, it's a thing. So in the literature, in the science, people are reaching out and trying to study kindness because of the positive impact it does have on outcomes. So my next stop was to go to the blog world and find some blogs. And there were a couple of them that were, from people that we've heard of. So the Extra 5 Minutes by Kevin MD, the theme was actually taking the time to sit down, listen, and being present when you speak to a patient. And it's an oncologist's reflection on how just staying in the room just a few minutes longer without rushing, without typing, changed the entire emotional trajectory of the visit. We all know Atwal Gandhi, the chair sitting at eye level instead of standing, and basically just pulling up a chair is a signal of respect, time, and shared humanity. From the ASCO connection, small gestures, big impact. Basically, practicing oncologists describe small actions like handwritten notes, remembering a spouse's name, calling personally with results. Those are the things that patients remember long after the treatment ends. Um, Blogs written by patients, what my oncologist did that I'll never forget. So a cancer survivor describing how their oncologist walked them to the elevator after bad news and how that mattered more than the technical explanation. It wasn't the chemo, it was the kindness. Again, patients recounting oncologists who called them on weekends, acknowledged their fear, or said, "I'm sorry this is happening to you." The JAMA blog on being a doctor, just basically short essays by physicians about holding hands, admitting uncertainty, and staying human in difficult moments. And of course, the small things, stories about oncologists remembering birthdays, adjusting language, or quietly honoring patients who die. So I said to myself, this is not just me that's recognizing the importance of these small acts of kindness. It's starting to pervade not just the oncology community, but all healthcare. And I realized that I wanted to reach into my mind and pull out some of my personal experiences and perceptions of kindness in medical care. And what I found was that the moments that have mattered most were never written in a protocol, never written in a guideline, never written in a medical order. They were never reimbursable, and they were very unlikely to even be remembered by anyone but the patient themselves. Yet there are these moments that are the disproportionate moments, meaning these are small things that have huge impacts. They are things, these small acts of kindness that steady people. They restore dignity and they soften fear. And I realized that charging that phone, Charles's phone, that charging was just a metaphor. I didn't just charge his phone, I restored his lifeline. Illness in general is one of the things that is tangible to healthcare providers. We know illness, we study illness, we take tests about illness, and we live in illness up to our necks every day of our professional lives. But illness is much larger to our patients. Illness is representative of isolation. Illness is representative of vulnerability. Illness is a loss of autonomy and familiarity to our patients, and illness is the loss of the comforting rhythms of our daily life. And the loss of Charles's phone stripped away his anchors. So it stripped away the anchor of being able to know what time it was. It stripped away the anchor of his family. It stripped away the anchor of being able to see photographs and videos of loved ones. And it stripped away the anchor of being able to listen to his messages and hear voices of love and voices of encouragement. And it was this inability to reach a loved one that amplified his fear. He must have felt, do they know where I am? Do they know how sick I am? Are they worried about me? What if something happens? I can't tell them. And it's this loss of connectivity and the regaining of that connectivity that made all the difference. And by charging his phone, I restored a channel, giving him back his voice and giving him back agency over his situation. And that's exactly why these small acts matter so much. They matter precisely because they're small. They do not overwhelm. They do not intrude. They do not demand gratitude. They meet patients where they are. Patients will never remember the exact wording of your explanations. They will never remember the precise details of their care plan. They remember how they felt. They remember who treated them like a person rather than a problem to be solved. And they remember the nurse who sat down to talk to them, the aide who brought them a sandwich after the kitchen was closed, or the doctor who charged their cell phone. And lastly, kindness is contagious. When one person takes the time to do something small and humane, it gives others permission to do the same. It shifts the norm. It softens the environment. Healthcare systems do not need grand and expensive programs to cultivate kindness. They just need permission to value it, and they need leaders who will model it. And Angel, the sad part of the story, or actually maybe the great part of the story, is I didn't know it at the time, but that tearful embrace that I had with Charles when I brought back his phone fully charged would be the last time that I would ever see him again. Well, I went back to my office and I wrote my note, and he eventually got his room in the ICU, and he used that charged phone, the one that I charged for him, to gather his family and loved ones. And he used that phone to make the decision that he didn't want any more invasive treatment. And he used that phone to say goodbye to those who couldn't be with him when he took his last breath. And Angel, I am extremely grateful to God that he gave me that one small opportunity to connect, that one small act that made such a difference. Angel, will you please lead us in a spiritual moment to allow all of our healthcare workers to recognize these moments and to and to ex- and to exude these small acts of kindness.
So, Croc Nation, as we close out today, I want to leave you with something simple but powerful. Be kind to one another. You never know what someone is carrying. when they walk into a room. Sit in a waiting area or wait to hear news about a loved one. No one should ever feel added stress in moments like that. And here's the reality. Don't allow anyone to steal your joy. And joy is a gift protected. Guard it and share it. We live in a world that moves fast, but kindness slows things down in the best way. It's a smile. It's a kind word. It's holding a door, a random act of kindness. You may think it's small, but to someone in medical need, or someone hurting, or someone making a final decision, can help mean everything. Let's bring kindness back. One act at a time, one moment at a time, one heart at a time. Until next time, I know that we here at CROC, which is Citizens United to Overcome Cancer, believe in staying kind, staying strong, and never letting anyone steal our joy.
God bless you, Angel. That was beautifully said. In closing, we will close with our CROC blessing. On behalf of Angel, myself, and the entire board of directors, we wish you all of our survivors out there, a very long, healthy, happy, and cancer-free life. God bless you. God be with you. Peace.
Hey, Croc Nation, don't forget, we are available on every platform. Just visit us at crocvip.com. We would love to hear your feedback. All you have to do is find us on social media, and I guarantee you'll hear just from the host himself, Dr. Tommy Anelli, even his co-host, myself, Angel. All you have to do is give us feedback, because if we know what you want, we'll deliver it for you. Happy New Year. Let's get started. 2026 is just getting started.